everyone, on behalf of the Mindalia TV team, welcome to Mindalia live streaming. The space that we are about to start has been called Instruments to Connect with Your Higher Self. Is going to be given or presented by Amaranta. She is a channeler, writer, speaker, instructor of healing techniques. Before starting with her, I just want to remind you that Mindalia is an international non-profit organization and that you can collaborate with us by liking, subscribing, following our content, and when you do that, you're helping us reach as much people in the planet as possible. I'm not going to delay this any further, and I have the great pleasure of leaving you with Amaranta. Amaranta, welcome to Mindalia. The screen is all yours.
Thank you very much, Mirna. First of all, I want to thank Mindalia for all this work that you are doing with spreading the word of light in all the planet. So I'm really grateful, and I just profit this one couple of seconds to show my gratefulness for you. And yes, today we are going to talk about the higher self, and because it's the basics of what we do in the method, the first thing that I'm going to explain is what is the higher self. Yeah. First of all, I want to say that we work with the higher self to through channeling to understand what is whatever the person needs, what is the mission, what is the person itself, how to connect with this source of light that we all have inside. So to do that, the first things that we do is to breathe and to take consciousness of the heart. Take consciousness of the heart, because the heart is the portal that we have within ourselves, and with this portal we can connect with our beloved presence I am. I began to say this, to do this introduction, but I want to explain, really deep explain, what is the higher self. When we talk about higher self, we talk about inner divinity. Some people talk about beloved presence I am. Some others talk about the inner God. Is the scent of God that we all have inside. There are different names that we use to say the same, but the most important thing that we have to realize is that higher self is within you and within all the people who has a soul. Higher self is not the soul, is whatever the soul is going to become. So it's kind of whenever you arrive to a certain illumination, to a certain knowledge, you will arrive to be that higher self. So it's kind of connecting with yourself in the future, and you are going to bring that God towards yourself today, and you can ask that God whatever you need, whatever your messages, whatever you need to do in that moment. If you are frightened, if you need to release whatever conflicts you have, it's just a matter to open the heart, because within the heart, inside the heart, you have this connection with your higher self. But how do I know that we all have a higher self within us? This is a bit like trickery, because I don't like to speak about God generally, because, you know, God is always a bit tricky. Some people talk about religion, some other religions, and always religions have been talking about God, and talking about God is so big, yeah. But I don't want to speak about God. I just want you to understand that you have your own God inside of you. So I will be very briefly. Let's just say that imagine that there is a creative energy, okay, that is not male or female, but is both, okay, and is the origin of all things. Like, let's talk about just creative energy, and we will refer to that creative energy as God, yeah? This creative energy creates like a son, creates like a son daughter, let's say, like creates something, and we are into that something, that it has been divided by millions and millions and millions of beings who has the essence of God. So it's not that you have the essence of God and I don't have the essence of God, or the good ones we have the essence of God and the bad ones doesn't have essence of God. Okay, whenever you have a soul, you have that essence, because we are, imagine that we are all part of a lake, like of the sea, and we are all drops of that sea. As a drop of the sea, you have all the essence of the sea. You have all the power of the sea, all the knowledge of the sea, and you can connect with everything that is related to that sea. Yeah. So we are that drop. You have that drop of God inside of you, and we all are the sea that are the Son of God. Okay, this is the way I like to explain. Yeah, but of course there are millions of ways to explain it, but just to let you know that if you have a soul, you have an origin, and the origin of that soul is this drop of that sea that we can call creative energy or God. Okay, the more you are going to learn, the more your soul learn, the more your soul became closer to your higher self. But of course, you can call a higher God to the higher God, and you can ask God whatever you need. But it's easier to talk to your own inner God. Why? Because that inner God has got the essence of your own lineage and your own history. And is like exactly, especially dedicated to your own growth, because as it is yourself, whenever you became that illuminated master or that incredible divine being, is going to be dedicated to your own growth. So everything you're going to ask to your own God is going to be directed to your own growth. Let's say, if you want to understand which voice is the one that comes from your higher self and the one that comes from your mind, is very easy. The voice of your higher self is always going to guide you towards your happiness, towards your growth, towards your, empowerment. The voice of your higher self is never going to tell you, oh, you look terrible, or oh, you were terrible here, or you are a fool, or you are stupid, or you have ruined everything. Your higher self is never going to tell you like this. Yeah. So if there is an inner voice who is telling you bad things about yourself, that is not your higher self. This is probably your egoic mind that is trying to persuade you from whatever you are growing with your higher self. So, to make it clear, we have a connection here with this powerful, really powerful own God that is directly connected to the energy of creation of all beings, yeah? And that knows everything. So we have direct connection to full knowledge, to full power, to full time, because we have no time and no space, because God has no time and no space. So the more you connect with your higher self, the more you are going to be in this growing nature that will lead you to your empowerment, wisdom, strength, and happiness. Very simple, yeah? Because this higher self wants your happiness, wants your joy, your bliss, yeah? Your love. This is what you have. You have all this inside of you, yes? But everything that your egoic mind is telling you, probably you don't have. Because whatever your egoic mind is telling you is probably leading you towards going apart, going very far away from this higher self. Why? Because in your mind, you have a beautiful brain, and this beautiful brain is like a beautiful brand new computer. And this computer that you have can do many, many things, but you wouldn't put your computer in front of your life. You wouldn't ask your computer, what do I want to do today? Yeah. You wouldn't tell your computer or ask your computer, what do you want to do in your future? Or who do you want to choose as a partner? Yes, you would ask somebody much wiser, yes, because a computer is always a computer. And you don't realize that this computer that you have inside, this egoic computer that is so useful, yeah, you are using it to command your life. So the first thing that we need to know is that we have a higher self inside of us. This higher self, this beloved presence, this strong, powerful wisdom presence is dedicated to us in order that we can arrive to become the gods that we are. And become a god is not become a Power Ranger or become a superhero or become something like that. It's just become the person that you truly are with your full awareness, with your full consciousness, with your full power. So we have it and we accept that we have it. The connection, I say, is in the heart chakra. This is the second thing we need to know. And the third thing that we need to know, as I said already, is that our egoic mind is not going to let us be concentrated in our heart. Why? Because the computer is so used to have the power, and this computer doesn't want to lose the power. And this computer just wants to be the powerful one and the one who rides the horse. But it's the horse. The horse is riding. It's not ourselves who are riding the horse. So what can we do to, first of all, connect with this higher self easily, okay? And then use this power of this higher self. So first of all, we need to breathe, because whenever we breathe, we take this pranic energy. Pranic means energy of light. So we breathe, and when we breathe deeply, we connect. It's very simple. Just breathe, and we connect with light. So connection, yeah? And then we breathe again. And when we breathe, we take our consciousness down to the heart. So we breathe and take this consciousness down to the heart. Okay? Once we are here, we can invoke this conscious power. We can invoke our higher self. How do we do it? Well, you can call it higher self. In the method, we say, beloved presence, I am. Or if you have learned to reach the name of this higher self, you can get this name of this higher self. And once you get the name, you will get like an awareness, like an awakening, because receiving the name of your higher self will be putting yourself into the connection of that being that will be you, but it's you already. Yes? So this is why my name is Amaranta, but this is not the name I was given by my parents. This is my higher self name. This is why I make everybody call me Amaranta, because every time everybody's calling me Amaranta, it's making my Amaranta, so my higher self, being aware, being awakened on me. Okay, so this is why I make myself be called Amaranta. This is why I want everybody to connect with the higher self and to ask what is the name of their higher selves. Once you have the name, you can repeat that name 3 times. Call it for name, yeah? You can say, if I say Amaranta, 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 I know this Amaranta will manifest immediately, and it's going to be very easy for me to speak with you, to say you whatever you want to know, because I am fully connected to this higher self. Of course, I have a bit of practice, but you can arrive to it just with practicing it, okay? So let's repeat these 3 first instruments that I have given to you. So first of all, very simple, breathing. Deep breathing. In the first breath, you just release everything that is blocking you, okay? Okay. In the second breath, you connect with your heart. You take your consciousness to your heart. In the third breath, you invoke this beloved presence. So you breathe and invoke your conscious presence. You invoke your higher self, your higher master, your inner God, okay? With name, without name. Now I'm going to give you 3 codes because I work with codes in order that if you don't remember very well, if you're confused, if something forgot, if you forgot, if you are not fully aware, but you need to connect, or if you are upset or stressed or not in meditation state, but in normal life, the codes will help you to arrive to that states without making a big effort. So the first code that will be to clean, this is the code of Shin, the code who help us to clean our minds. So we are going to visualize like a spiral that is cleaning our mind and all these voices that are talking in our minds telling us how terrible we are, or that we are doing wrong, or we should do this, we should do that, we have to do, we don't have time, we have to rush, blah, 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 with all of problems and conflicts that they only have an objective that is distracting us to connect with our higher self, okay? And to go on feeding this mind that goes like a program in TV, droop, 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 never ending story, yes? So we breathe and we clean this mind. Breathe. Shin, shin, shin. We visualize this. Shin is cleaning all our minds. Over there, everybody who is doing it. Shin, shin, shin. Yes, very good. Now we go with the second code. That is going to be connection code. It's a code that helps us to connect our consciousness with the heart. This code is Asha. So we do like Asha, Asha, Asha. This is a connection code. And it's very important for whatever moment that you are not connected. It doesn't matter if you are in meditation state or you are in the middle of a city. You want to connect? Asha. Very simple. Asha will connect you right away with your heart. Yes? Asha. So we clean Shin. We connect Asha. And once we are inside, if you are not sure if the name you have here is your higher self, if you are not sure how to call your higher self, I have a code for you that is Shivoham. Shivoham means I am God in action. So, and it's also, I use this word to put it in a code that called the beloved presence I am. So whenever you say Shivoham, you are calling this beloved presence I am, and you are going to be connected immediately with this beloved presence I am. So, Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. This Shivoham, you can also use it for some other people in problems. For example, if you see somebody in the streets, you can send them Shivoham, because Shivoham is going to help them to solve any story that they have. It's like sending them light, but in a very powerful way. You say Shivoham, okay? And they will, something will happen, yeah? I have used it very, very much. It's very simple. You just have to say Shivoham, and somebody will awake into them, and they are going to connect, and you don't know why, but somebody's going to come and help them, and okay? Just leave it in their hands, okay? So I repeat so you don't forget. First of all, we breathe and clean our minds with Shin, Shin. Second of all, we connect with our hearts, Asha. Asha, you can always use it also to connect with somebody. So you do Asha, connecting heart to heart with somebody. Asha, Asha. And then once you are there, you breathe and you say Shivoham. you breathe and you go into Shivoham. And once you do Shivoham, you will feel a certain peace and calm. This is God. Yes? We all want to know what is God more than know what is God. Just, I dare you to feel God. Because gods, there are many, but feeling is something that nobody can take you out of it. Like you feel it, it's inside of you. This is something that you are gonna know, and nobody else can tell you from outside. What you know from inside, nobody else can tell you from outside. Yes? Once you have this higher self, and you breathe and you connect with this higher self, and you call Shivoham, and you are in peace, you can ask. Yes? You can ask with this higher self. You can ask what you need. And if you are still not a channeler, if you are still don't know how to channel, it doesn't matter. You can learn in a second moment. But you can also ask to give you a message. If you don't listen to it or you don't receive it yet, you can ask for a message, an external message that can come with a book, with a card, with whatever. You do your question to your higher self. If you use any instrument for channeling or for knowing, like cards or pendulum or whatever, you ask the higher self to go inside those instruments. So there would not be any doubt that whatever you are receiving is the answer for your higher self, from your higher self. Yes? You can also, open a book or just wait for the message to arrive, and it will arrive in many different ways. Okay? So these would be some instruments that we can use to connect with our higher self, instruments that you can find useful, and you can try now. You can try now. We can do this together. So we can breathe and release your mind, not letting your mind blocking you. You can open your heart and connect Asha. So we do Shin, we do Asha, and we connect with Shivoham. And we ask the beloved presence to give you now a message. And you can ask whatever you want. You ask your heart and you see what happened, and you can receive a message about something that worries you. Let's try. Just breathe, connect, and then you can tell me if you have received any messages, and I will be guiding you to help you to understand the messages you have received. Yeah? Yes?
Thank you for sharing with us your knowledge. We're
My
definitely going
pleasure.
to go to the questions. There's a couple questions that we have here. And the first one, actually, that comes to my mind, this one is from me, is it could happen that we can hear the voice of our higher self. It can happen that we can, probably through intuition, just feel the message, right? Not necessarily a voice. But why is it so hard for us to trust that information that comes within? We would completely trust whatever that someone else is saying, but that voice that comes from within, why is it so hard for us to trust it?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a very, I will try to be very specific in the question, but it's 25,000 years of darkness to create people with guilt, not loving themselves, is a long work. So you cannot trust yourself. Yeah, guilt is in the genealogical tree. Guilt is in your blood. It's in the patterns of your grandmother, and it's in the lives that you have killed yourself through suicides. And it's not something that is yours. It's everybody. We live with the guilt because thanks to the guilt we have build these karmic wheels. Yeah. And this is a more poisonous energy. The worst of it is of course guilt, and lack of confidence is related to guilt. It's lack of faith. Yeah, this is something that you need to work, of course. You need to work on it to release where it is, because you say, no, I want to trust myself. Yes, but that's your conscious. That is very short part of here. But you are also past lives. You have a soul. You have livings. You have a story in this life. You have lived so many things. You have take all the information from your parents. So if you tell me why you don't trust your inner voice, because there is a big effort made in order that people don't trust their higher selves. This is why we need to clean and heal the lack of confidence. But I can tell you, the more you practice, the more you will understand that whatever is talking to you here is not yourself. It's something created that we call personality. And we are very proud of our personality, but our personality is just ego, yeah? Some can say, no, ego is very useful. Yes, it can be very useful when somebody is attacking you, but maybe it's not necessary, yeah? You are much more than your ego, much more than your personality. Just practice and understand that whatever makes you wants you to be happy is much more powerful than whatever wants not to believe in yourself. So don't give strength to this, give strength to this.
So we have been basically educated for centuries not to trust ourselves, to find as if the enemy was within, right?
Absolutely. It has been a very strong work, very long time work.
Let's start on building those bridges then. How different, Amaranta, is the life of someone that is properly connected with the higher self? How can we see that if you wanted to check or to identify the life of someone that is properly connected? What would we be seeing different from the life of someone that is completely unaware of it?
Well, I can tell you that it's very nice to have always a guidance voice to is telling you what is happening, you know, because we develop these, okay, and I personally teach how to get into that. I teach others to teach others, you know, how to arrive, and we have many different courses to arrive to have this connection really open and fresh, yeah. But I can tell you, it's not that something I say that is not something that it comes from one day to the other, but you can arrive to it in a very certain short time. You have a voice that is telling you, put more salt into the soup, and is telling you, the one in the television is lying. Of course, we all know that is lying. But it's telling you, whenever you are watching a film, it's telling you, no, Morgana was not like that. Morgana was this and this and this, you know. And it's telling you, don't choose the red one. That doesn't suit you, you know. It's always having like the best friend inside of you, and you know it's the best friend, and it's never going to leave you. But it doesn't disturb your life. Just when you want to connect, you just, like, you are curious and you want to know, you ask, and then you have the answer right away. And it happens to me many, many times that I'm talking to someone, like here, for example, or in a course or something, and I'm talking things that is my higher self who is speaking, and I am speaking to myself, and I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. So it's also interesting for my own being, you know, for my own small person that lives in this earth, you know. I'm also learning from whatever this higher self is saying. And you know that is your higher self because what is telling you, your ego would never arrive to it. And what is telling you, for example, about somebody else is an answer that you would never, ever think about it. And you would never choose. Yes. For example, somebody has done something bad to you and you are very upset and you want to answer that way or that way. And if you ask your higher self will tell you, forgive her, forgive him, give them a hug. And it's something that you don't want to do. Your ego doesn't want to do, but you know it's your higher self. This is why you know.
That is very interesting. Maria Gonzalez, she's in Peru and she's asking through the Facebook platform, generally, how do we receive the messages? In what format? Once we have formulated that question, once we have made the exercise, how can we expect an answer, Amaranta?
Yes, well, this is what I teach in channeling. Like, there are people who receive visions, people who is very visive and receive images. There is some people who is more kinetic, so you just feel that something is arriving to you. And there is some people who is more hearing, and they can listen to the voice. And you can develop the three ways as well. You can have more than one, more than other, depending on the frequency of the channeling and how much do you do. But the most interesting thing is that it doesn't matter the way you choose. You have your own translator. Everybody has their own translator. It's like, imagine that you are learning a language and we all have a way of transcription of the message. So if we are like 10 people and we all ask the same messages, maybe we all differently say the different things about the same message. One will see a picture about something related, the other will say a phrase, the other will see a feeling, but we all will arrive to the same. What I'm saying is like, it doesn't matter the format. What is important is like you arrive to take the essence of it, the information. And if you don't understand, ask. The more you ask, the more you receive the message. So if you receive an image, oh, I see a tree, and what? Ask why this tree has come to you. Ask. More asking, the more questions you do, the easier it's going to be to understand and to receive messages.
There is something that I actually wanted to ask you, and it's regarding our lifestyle. It is, I think we can agree that we want to have the chance to be connected to our higher self. We want to have access to the tools that are provided when we are, connected to that source. But in regards to our lifestyle, is there something that you would recommend, such as nutritional habits or exercise? Is there a way in which we can do more than just thinking, do more than just putting the intention, but actually making our physical body sync or be in agreement with our intentions?
Well, of course, the lighter you eat, the healthier you eat, then your vibration will be rise and connection. It will be easier. Yeah. If you are doing exercises like yoga or whatever and so on, and you have a healthier lifestyle, that will be much easier to connect, and you do meditation often, well, then that would be very useful. But what I recommend most is cleaning. Yeah, when I talk about cleanings, I talk about releasing negative emotions, negative programs, negative karmas. Like, the more clean you are, regarding everything that we have been carrying away for so many centuries, then the easier will be to receive messages. Yeah, this is something that is very important for me. And then another thing that is very important is to low down the frequency of our mind, because our mind is always in a state of and even if the angels are there trying to put you the message down, and you don't let any space. You need to be like in this state, relaxing state. This is why it's more simple whenever you are awakening or going to bed, in a moment where you finally are relaxed and you finally leave your mind empty. Because if not, the messages cannot arrive. Of course, the way I propose is always channeling through the heart, because it's easier not to have the controversies of the mind. But the more quieter that you have the mind, the easier it's going to be to come into the heart as well.
Amaranta, a little bit of topic, but it's definitely very interesting. We have someone, Ceci Banchero, in our Facebook chat asking about planetary vortexes. I think that you have some information about it. Can you share a little bit?
Planetary vortex, like, you mean energy? The energy? Okay. Yes. I was giving a conference yesterday about that. Is it what they asking for? Yeah. Well, our planet in a some time ago, like some centuries and million times a million, I would say exactly, to be exact, let's say 50,000 years ago. Yeah, it was all light. Yeah, all the places were telluric places. All the places have got these vortexes. It was all blessed everywhere. Yeah, with the different things that happen and the energies and the explosions of Atlantide and all the different beings coming to the earth and all the different wars that we have had, little by little, and overall wars in the last, let's say, 20,000 centuries, 20,000 years, yeah, sorry, 20,000 years. Let's go more to the 5,000 years. Every time we have a war, there is a crash in the earth that opens the earth, and this is making the powerful of the earth being lost. We still have some sacred places that are connected to the center of the earth, that are connected to the energies that are in the meridians and the parallels, and that are connected to the people who has come to this planet to bring us light. Yes. Some as, I don't know, Master Jesus or Master Mary Magdalene, they still have places in the earth where you can still feel the essence, and these places are full of magic and energy. And we have places that are portals. We're talking about connections. We have places that are portals, such as, for example, in Stonehenge, we have a portal. There is a portal that is a higher connection. It's a connection up. And this place will bring us the connection also with other ascended masters, that they are already this higher self. They have arrived to be this higher self. They are ascended, and they are over there to connect with us, to bring us this illumination, this light. Well, we have also inner cities in the center of the earth that are very, very powerful, and that give us a lot of energy. And I don't know if they want to ask for a specific place, or because it's a very big item to talk about, but I don't know if they want to ask for a specific place or a specific vortex, or where are they, or how to connect with them.
I think they just wanted to know a little bit of information about the topic. Most likely, they saw you on the other conference about it.
Probably.
Maria is in Peru, and she wants to know that when you say clean, do you refer to a specific therapy for cleaning the subconscious mind, for cleaning the body, the ethereal body? What do you mean when you're referring to clean within the context of our conversation today?
Yes. Well, I'm talking about releasing the main emotions, the main negative emotions. Yes, I'm talking about therapies of cleanings that talks about, releasing the fears, the guilt, the rage, and everything that is related to it. I'm talking about the method, like is a way of cleaning, but there are many methods of cleanings, and there are many ways of cleanings, but I was specifically thinking about clearing all the negative emotions, programs, and karmas that we all have, like we have in our back, in our courage, and that we really should release, in order that whatever is unconscious is also everywhere else, and we don't have anything from the family, from our lives, or from our soul.
Thank you for sharing that. As we reach the end of our conversation today, Amaranta, I want to give you a moment so you can leave us with your closing thoughts.
Well, thank you very much always to Mirna and to Mindalia to give me this opportunity. This is the first time I do it in English, so I'm very happy for that. Sorry, English is not my first language, but I'll try to do my best. And I just wanted to tell you that connecting with your higher self is the best thing that you can ever do. And once you connect, this connection will never fail. Like maybe you have times where you are tired, where you don't remember, where you forgot, where you are full of anger or stress. But if you breathe and you connect, your higher self will always be there for you. And remember that this is the path that will lead you to happiness. This is the path to will lead you to real empowerment and wisdom. This is the power of rediscover yourself. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mirna. Thank you, Mindalia. Thank you, everybody that is listening.
Thank you again. Yes, you accepted our invitation in English. It's not your native language, and everybody would say that it's not mine as well. Like it is very obvious, and we do this because we are committed. We are committed with our mission, and our mission is to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness. We are very excited that we get to do this, even though it's not our native language. We get to do this in another language. We do this in English and we do it in Portuguese because we want people to hear what we have to share. Once again, thank you to you, Amaranta. And thank you to the people that have been with us today. Big hug and all our gratitude. And we will meet again in another Mindalia live streaming very soon. Bye-bye.